Hi guys, happy Monday. I've got a new practice for you guys. So we've already talked about our Surya Namaskar A, or our Sun Salutation A. We've gone over our plank, our chaturanga, and our full vinyasa. So today's workshop is going to focus all about learning our Surya Namaskar B, or our Sun Salutation B. It's a lot of similar poses and postures that we've already workshopped and gone over. So we're going to kind of combine everything we've learned and take it to the next step. Learn the next flow, add in some standing postures, and start to build a little more heat that you would in a normal full practice. Cool. We don't need any props today unless you want those blocks to help you in your chaturanga. You can feel free to grab those. If not, we will start today at the top of our mat. So kind of mixing it up instead of starting down on the floor to workshop everything. But as you come to the top of your mat, I want you to bring your awareness immediately down to your feet. So really getting heavy here, starting to root down, find that strong foundation so we can start to build up in our posture. So looking down at your feet, imagine you have four corners. So we have the big toe mound, and then right across from it on the pinky long edge of our foot, we have our second point. Coming down to your heel, imagine 2 points on either end of the bottom of your heel. So we have this really awesome quadrant that we can evenly distribute our weight into to help us really balance and really ground down. So take a moment here. You could rock back and forth, up and down, just really get a feel. Maybe you notice that you tend to shift your weight up into the balls of your feet. Maybe you sink back in your heels and you don't have a lot of action happening in your toes. So just take a moment to really be aware and feel grounded here in your feet. Awesome. So as you start to root down in that top arch and the heel of your foot, keep that contact with the ground, but see if you can lift all 10 toes. So this might take a moment. This might feel a little wonky getting used to lifting all 10 toes. But as you do, start to spread them. So create a little space between each toe. Really open up here. Then as slow as you can, starting with the pinky edge of your foot, see if you can drop one toe at a time. This is really super different, so it might take a couple rounds to get used to. I know when I first did it, I could not get one toe at a time down, but this is a really fun practice to really hone in and get your awareness into your feet. Awesome. So once you have your toes spread and you are rooted back into the ground, start to imagine pulling energy up from the floor. So starting with your feet, coming all the way up your legs, your calves might engage. Maybe you start to slightly lift your kneecaps, feel your quads engage, followed by your glutes. Then working your way up your core, your spine, all the way up through the crown of your head, finding a nice tall spine. This is our mountain pose, our Tadasana. Your hands could be at your heart center in Anjali Mudra, which is bringing our palms together, honoring our heart. If your shoulders feel tight, you can always drop your arms. Just let your palms face forward. Really proud chest here. The purpose of this mountain pose is to feel that grounding in your feet, to have a strong, solid foundation to come back to so that you feel as if you are pulling new energy up with breath. So as you inhale, you're pulling up from the earth, creating length and space. And as you exhale, that comes back down, presses out all of that stagnant energy that you're holding onto and sending all of that business back into the earth, what you no longer need. So you can take a couple rounds of breath here, hands at your heart or palms facing forward. Just imagine that circle of energy coming up, filling you up with new breath, new life. And as you exhale, it presses that down, letting go of all of the things that you no longer need. You can start to create an Ujjayi breath. Find a slight constriction at the back of your throat, as if you're fogging up a mirror. It starts to sound like the wave of an ocean as you inhale and exhale. Good, so we've got this strong foundation in our feet. Let's inhale, reach up and overhead. And exhale, pull our hands all back together at our hearts. So meeting here in this mountain pose. Look down at your feet. Try to keep that weight evenly distributed, but let's walk our feet in towards one another. You could maybe bring your big toes together to touch or leave a little space between your feet. Good, let's start to flow. So we'll get a little heat building, start to sweat. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, start to bend your knees, slide your hips back. We're coming into a chair pose. We call this chair because it looks like you're sitting back in a chair. So if you're new to this pose, maybe that looks like you're here today. Just a slight bend in the knees. Wherever you are, try to find a little integrity in your belly. So slightly pull your navel into your spine. We don't want to dump and arch here. So think more of a cat versus a cow. Pull your belly in. As you do, your tailbone drops down. Maybe that allows you to slide back in your chair another inch. Good, so our chair pose is our second posture, moving from mountain to chair. So just hang out here for a couple breaths. Get used to this pose. Maybe this is new to you. Maybe this is just another day on your mat. Wherever you are, just hang out here. Start to build that heat in your glutes. In chair pose, you don't always have to have your feet touching. The purpose of bringing your toes together is to start to squeeze in towards your midline. So using those adductors right here on your inner thighs, pull your knees in. We're adding to the midline. And as you do that, your glutes start to light up. So you have this really strong foundation in your feet and your glutes and the back of your legs. Good, taking a couple rounds of breath here, just hanging out, being really heavy. Good, big breath in. Exhale, straighten your legs, start to dive forward to that forward fold. Good, you can hang out here, sway it out, shake it out, let that work go. It's our third posture. This should start to look familiar. So the next couple poses are simply moving through our Sun Salutation A before we add on. So we're here in this forward fold. Next breath, halfway lift, reach through the crown of your head. Imagine a string pulling you forward. So you've got this awesome L shape in your body. Belly is slightly engaged. Then exhale, dive down to that fold. We'll plant our hands, step back to that high plank. Now you know what to do here. We'll grip with our fingers, squeeze our elbows in. Big breath. Shift forward on your toes, take your vinyasa. Remember, you can drop your knees or keep them hovered. Let this flow be yours. Good, let's all meet in a downward facing dog. Then taking a moment here to get warmed up, just a couple rounds of breath. We're really taking this first round of Sun Salutation B slow to be super intentional and get used to how these poses feel in our own bodies. Good, so gripping the mat, pressing away with your hands. So imagine ripping the mat in half. So you're pressing back through your feet, pressing forward through your hands, and your tailbone is sending up straight towards the sky. Your heels don't have to touch here. I know that's a common misconception here that we think we have to have our heels to the ground and stay rooted, but what we really want is to have a nice lift in our tailbone. So we should think of having an upside down V. Now you need to do whatever you need to get to this posture. You could drop to your forearms if you need a little less effort on your shoulders. Or you can stay up on your hands, take a big bend in your knees, and start to press your belly towards your thighs. So you could be all the way spiked up here, or you could start to straighten those legs. Just notice how my tailbone is lifting up to the ceiling. We've got this awesome upside down V shape to really start to work in our hamstrings. Good, shift your weight to your left toes. Next pose, moving forward, inhale, float your right leg. Now try to keep your hips square here. We tend to open up sometimes in practice, but for the sake of today, keep your hips squared, right toes face down towards the ground. Want nice even hips here, so no opening. Just keep pressing back through that right heel. Good, take a breath in. And on your exhale, we're shifting forward to plank. So shoulders over your wrists, right knee is gonna pull into your chest. Awesome, flex your toes, step through to your hands, we're in a low lunge. Now before we rise, let's get our feet set up. So drop your left heel. We're going to pivot down so that the arch of our foot touches the floor. Get strong in your legs, belly to your spine. Inhale, lift your hands. We find warrior one. So again, this might be a brand new posture to you. You might have this in the bag. Whatever it is, let's check in with our alignment. So we often in class here, we want a heel to arch alignment. It doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to imagine our back foot at 45 degrees or so. Our front foot is straight on facing the front of the room. So it doesn't have to be on a balance beam. That means you could walk your legs a little wider. Imagine being on railroad tracks. So right foot could step a little off to the right, create a little more space in your hips. Now eventually what we want to do is get our hips to twist and face forward. That might not be happening for you today. That might not ever happen if it's in your anatomy. That's just how you're built. It's how you're built. It's cool. But we want to try to square off our hips as much as we can. So imagine lights right here, the front of both hips. We're twisting forward. Let those lights shine. Good. Soft bend in that right knee. Start to drop into your hips. We're evenly pressing through our right heel and the outer edge of our left foot. Good. So once you get your hips and your legs squared away, feel really strong in your foundation. Again, pressing through the four corners of our feet. Then from here, arms can reach up. As you're in your warrior one, I want you to imagine you're holding a block between your hands. So press your palms in towards one another. We want to keep integrity in our arms. So as you do this, your shoulders will start to light up, maybe your traps and your triceps. As always, we don't want to squeeze our shoulders in. Try to keep your shoulders soft down your spine. Just keep that integrity in your hands. Belly is softly pulling to your spine. Let's take a couple breaths here in our first warrior one. Just really getting a feel for this pose in our body. Again, you can wiggle it out here. Just getting really used to twisting in your hips. Maybe this is a new pose for you. Something I also like to encourage is when I first started practicing, it was really hard to get my heel down. So maybe you just stay here in a low lunge. That left heel can be lifted if that's gonna help you start to get that muscle memory of getting your hips twisted forward. You don't have to keep it right here. Again, you can lift that left heel, keep a soft bend in that knee, take a low lunge. Only difference in these two poses are your high lunge, sorry, not low lunge. High crescent lunge is where your back heel is spiked. You've got your back knee lifted. You're bending into your front knee. Then again, warrior one is where your back heel is dropped. Same thing, we're low in this front knee, but we're pressing through the outer edge of our left foot versus our left heel. Awesome, one more breath in here. Cool, dive down to the ground, frame off your front foot. We're gonna step back to a plank. This should be familiar, so take a big breath in. Exhale, shift forward, move through your Vinyasa. Again, knees can drop, you could stay lifted, take a push up. Maybe that right foot floats. So wherever you're at, move at your own pace with your breath. Good, coming straight to the other side, left foot floats. Again, keep those hips square, try not to open through your left hip. Breath in. Exhale, shift forward to that high plank, knee squeezes in, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze with your breath, and softly step through. Set up your feet, right heel drops this time. When you're ready, rise up, take your warrior one. Awesome, so this is the other side. The thing about our bodies is that although we have two of everything, most of us do, it doesn't mean that we're necessarily balanced, right? So this side could feel different. Maybe you find you can go a little bit deeper. Maybe this side, your back leg is like, nope, not having it. I'm lifting that right heel. You adjust to your body. Make the pose work for your body. Don't make your body work for the pose here. Profound, I know. Cool, legs are situated, belly is in, hands reach up. Again, imagine that block, squeeze your palms in towards one another. One more breath. Awesome, dive down, take that plank, we're moving through our flow. So take this with your breath at your own pace. Again, maybe you float that left foot. See if you can find a little challenge. Maybe you're like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. It's cool, this is your practice. Remember, make it about you. Awesome, take a really big bend in your knees. So start to drop your hips towards your heels, look up to your hands. We're gonna take a slow stroll up to a forward fold. If you are really used to this practice, you could hop, you could take bigger steps, but for the purpose of today, let's just take a nice little walk up to our hands. Awesome, we're back in this forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, bow and fold. Now we're in this fold. From here, soften your knees, start to drop your tailbone. We're coming straight back to that chair pose. So sweep your arms up, look forward, lift through your chest. In your chair, your arms could be reaching, or here at Anjali Mudra at your heart, it's your choice. Wherever you are, try not to round forward, keep that proud chest, lift through your chin. Beautiful, next breath, straighten your legs, reach up, big stretch. Mountain pose, we'll come back, hands to heart. Good job, you moved through your first Sun Salutation B, and we moved super slow. Now we're gonna start to speed it up so you can get the rhythm of moving with your breath. You can find that Vinyasa in your flow. Again, Vinyasa doesn't necessarily just mean those 4 poses. Vinyasa simply means movement to breath. So any practice that we are partaking in, we're taking a Vinyasa. It's that rhythm, that pattern of breath and movement together. Cool. So let's speed it up. Let's get a little bit more heat built. I've got the heaters on in here, so I'm dying. So this is kind of my payback for making y'all take this, I guess. It's cool. All right, let's meet back in mountain pose. Hands at your heart. I'll walk you through it. Try to listen to the sound of my voice. See if you can do this on your own. I'm here for you to look at if you need, but see if you can challenge yourself. Maybe focus ahead of you. If you're a real badass, maybe you close your eyes. No pressure. Cool, hands at heart center. Big breath in, fill up in mountain. Exhale, sink your hips. Breath in and chair. Dive and fold. Halfway lift. Plant your hands, take your first Vinyasa. Good, we're leaning back in down dog. Next breath, right leg lifts, keep those hips even, press back through your heel. Exhale, knee to your chest, start to pull through, step through. Set up your feet, next breath, inhale to rise, warrior 1, adjust your legs how you need. Maybe this second round on this side feels a little bit better. Cool, we'll take 3 rounds of breath here to really settle into the pose, to find your breath again. Good, one more breath. Hands to the floor, take your flow. Again, this is your chance to mix it up, get spicy. Maybe you hover that right leg. Kneading back in down dog. 1 cycle of breath, inhale through the nose. Open mouth sigh. Straight to the other side, left leg up. Step through, find your warrior 1. 3 cycles of breath, really settle in here. Try to keep your face soft. Relax the space between your eyebrows. You got this. One more breath. Hands to the floor, take your flow. Awesome, big bend in your knees in your dog. Look up to your hands. Take your journey to your fold. So you could take those stops, you could hop up to a fold. It's your choice. Inhale, halfway lift. Dive and fold. Hips stay low, knees are bent straight to that chair pose. Try to keep your belly engaged. Use your core to help lift you. Breath in, straighten your legs, reach up. Meet back at mountain pose. Awesome job. You guys ready for one more round? Promise it'll be a little bit quicker, so maybe it's a little bit easier. We've got this. One more round for good measure, right? 3rd time's the charm. Awesome. Hands at heart center. Inhale, reach up, find space. Sink to chair. 1 breath in. Dive and fold. Halfway lift. Hands plant, flow. Beautiful, right foot floats. Warrior 1, step through. 3 breaths. Last inhale. Plant your hands, Vinyasa. Left foot lifts. Step through. Root to rise, reach up. Warrior 1. 3 rounds of breath. Let this be your moment of peace here. Every time you come up and you get an opportunity to hold, don't think about, I gotta hold this pose, I hate this, I'm sweating, I'm shaking. Think about having an opportunity to slow down and come back to center, come back to your breath. Good, breathe in. Vinyasa and exhale. Big bend in your knees, look up. See if you can take bigger steps this time. Forward fold. Flat back. Fold. Sink low, rise up, chair pose, just a breath in. Good, inhale, straighten, reach up, y'all got it. Come back to mountain pose. Bring your right hand to your heart, left hand to your belly. Awesome job, y'all. You guys completed maybe your very first round of Sun Salutation B. Something to be proud of. Just notice what's happening right now. Maybe you're covered in sweat, your legs are shaking and hating you. Maybe you hate me, who knows? But you know what? We powered through it. We did it together, right? Take a moment to be grateful for your breath here, grateful for your determination, for your hard work, for allowing yourself to start to get a little more advanced in your yoga journey. You're starting to add into your toolbox. Now you've got a couple of awesome flows. You're starting to learn new names for poses. Maybe along the way you're starting to learn a little bit more about yourself too. That's something to be extremely proud of. Good, let's close it out here. One big breath in, reach out now, full body stretch. And let's dive to a fold. We'll meet here, walk your feet as wide as your mat, grab opposite elbows, and just ragdoll side to side. We're letting go of all of that heat you just built up. Good, plant your hands, step back to a plank, and take a tabletop pose. And just sit back on your heels. Finding this tall spine, coming back to center, finding your natural rhythm of breath again. Good, keep your big toes together, walk your knees wide, hands walk out in front of you. Before you come down, try to keep your chest lifted. So imagine that chair pose again, proud chest, lifting through your chin as your hands walk out. Once you've gone as far as you can, forearms relax, forehead comes down, take a child's pose. Checking in with your hips, noticing if you have a little more space than maybe you did before you began this practice. Noticing where you've started to open up and soften and where you started to build strength, build foundation in your body. One more big breath in. Open mouth sigh. Beautiful. You could stay here as long as you'd like to. When you're ready, walk your hands back. We'll meet in a seat as we close out this practice. Very good job, you guys. I hope y'all survived and made it to the end of this. If you guys didn't give up on me, no worries if you did, I don't blame you. Yeah, you guys have learned Warrior 1 now. You've got that in your toolbox to add on. Now you're expanding and learning Sun Salutation B. From here is where we really get to play. We really get to get creative. Now that we have gotten up and left the mat and we're in our Warrior 1 pose, there are so many places to go. So the next videos that are to come, we'll start to expand on that, add on more standing postures so you all have new poses, new terms, new things to play with in your yoga journey. So thank you guys for your effort and for getting stronger with me. Look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.